Hello and welcome to this luscious episode of Kennedy Saves the World. It is Friday. That means it's happy hour. And one of my favorite conversational subjects is back in action here in the Kennedy Saves the World podcast world headquarters. And today's mocktail is in honor of him and where he lives and what he celebrates. It is all about nature and conservation. He is the president and founder of the American Conservation Coalition.
That's it. That's
It's
a
Benji
horrible
Backer.
name, but it's a great organization. So
Is that what you named it in college? Because
Yeah.
I know it started as like a college
yeah,
club.
That's what I named it in college.
Yeah, so
if
I have a
could do
college
that
sophomore and I'm like, what clubs are you joining? So I'm going to tell her about you because your college club could turn out to be something of note.
Well, we've got a pretty big Ohio chapter actually.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll let her know.
Yeah, like the whole
She
state.
thinks nature's a little gross.
Oh,
So I'm trying
what?
to...
What's gross about
Yeah,
it?
I'm like, go for a hike. She's like, ew, there's dirt.
Oh no!
I know.
Isn't it kind of in a rural? Shouldn't she like it?
Yeah, no, it's in a national forest where she is.
Oh, that's
it's,
gross.
It's absolutely beautiful. Like driving through there, I can't wait to go in a few weeks and see how the leaves change. So this is a mocktail. I call it the luscious lumberjack. So it would
Is
be.
that what you think of when you think of me as a luscious
Obviously,
lumberjack?
yes.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's-
you live in Washington State.
I
so you're-
did. I moved.
Okay, good. Well, maybe this will make you want to move back because there are cherries, which are very prevalent in Washington State, Rainier cherries. That's
Ooh.
the kind of lighter yellow,
It's the best
reddish
cherry.
varietal, and those are amazing.
Oh,
And then
they should be candy. But
apples,
they're not.
like the Apple Cup is the Civil War.
You
That is
know
the big
this?
football game between University of Washington and Washington
My
State.
alma mater. Yeah.
Yeah.
Washington State sucks.
So you don't like Wazoo?
Nope,
Yeah.
I don't.
Yep.
And if you're listening to this from Wazoo, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Double don't care.
I really, actually, in fact, I would want you to hear it again. I don't like Wazoo. Yeah.
That's how I feel about USC. I'm
Yeah.
right there with you.
Yeah,
I totally
yeah,
get
yeah,
it. So
And the
it
49ers
would
for me.
be Woodford, apple liqueur, a little bit of herring cherry liqueur, and just a splash of cider, shaken with ice and strained
Is it
into
fall? Is this a fall drink?
Yeah, this is the fall drink,
It is fall.
honoring your collegial heritage.
Yes.
So Benji Backer, welcome back to the podcast.
We're backer.
And we are Backer in action.
I've never had a drink on a podcast before, so
Well,
here
that's
we are.
good.
That is
That's
really
very good. I didn't even taste it after I just thought of it in my head and then I made it, but it's very
So it's like
good.
a shot in the dark. Well, it doesn't taste like a shot in the dark. It tastes like
Oh
something
no,
you've
I don't
done.
know a shot in the dark.
No.
What is it? Is that the name of a drink?
It's the name of somebody who does something without trying it.
Oh yes, of course.
Yes.
But that's actually a
But
great name for a drink.
That is actually. Did we just come up with that?
Well, you did, but now I'm going to make
Very
something that has to
unintentionally.
be
That
like
was not
bluish purple and just filled with alcohol.
a shot in the dark.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look that up.
Yeah,
and
but
see if
you
it's
can
a
claim
thing.
it because I really did not try. That was not
No,
like
that's a great name.
I'm gonna. I
Okay,
stumbled
so
into that.
next time we meet for happy hour, I will
Create the shot in the
concoct-
dark.
Yes, but I do love fall cocktails and fall flavors.
Yeah, me too. Except I don't like the pumpkin spice lattes. But you said you had one.
So I wanted to try one because Kat Tim's husband hates the term spooky season, which I love Halloween.
Me too.
So
Spooky.
when you're a kid,
skeletons.
there are 3 seasons of the year. They're not
Right.
4. There's 3.
Right.
There's summer, Halloween, and Christmas or Hanukkah.
Yeah, right.
So those are the 3
And everything in
seasons.
between those
And
is
everything
really
lasts
sad.
4 months.
Right.
Yeah, and that's
Right.
it.
Well, except the January to summer is a very depressing time as a kid because you're
We just
like,
ignore that.
Yeah, you're like waiting for summer, but from summer till the end of the year, that's
That's great.
exciting
No,
time.
it's
We're
it's
in the
amazing.
midst of it.
Like it's one the hits just keep on coming, and I love the run up to Halloween. I don't want to start it too soon.
Right.
But this late September that identifies as October, this might be my favorite time of the year.
And this, like growing from Wisconsin, the smell of the leaves changing
Yes.
is like it literally makes you feel like you're melting into the earth.
Yeah.
It's like amazing, and it's like the crispness of the air. The football games are on. It's like
Oh, so that must be one of the great things about growing up in Wisconsin.
oh my gosh.
Is see in Oregon, we love the outdoors. We love fall. You know that, having
Yes.
gone to University of
You
Washington.
also love
very,
homeless people.
very similar. We love homeless people. We love toothless drug addicts pooping all over our
Right,
streets.
which is very similar to the love of the
Yeah,
environment.
it's just
Yeah.
it's really
They go hand in hand.
embracing they do.
Yeah.
Hand in glove. Hopefully it's a latex glove that will protect you from all of the microbes. But it must be so nice having grown up in a place where football because you've got, University of Wisconsin,
Yes.
go Badgers,
Yep.
and
They're
you
struggling.
have your Packers.
Yes, and like just high school football too. I mean, Friday, Saturday, Sunday were like sacred times. And
Amazing.
when you smell like the leaves, all I think of is Packers games. I actually remember there was a specific the specific Monday. I was speaking at a Tea Party rally when I was like 14 or something.
That's really funny because I'm like, Tea Party? That was
Yeah.
quite some time ago,
Yeah,
young
I
man.
might have been a preteen. I can't remember, but it was the game where it was the Fail Mary game where they called a touchdown in the end zone that shouldn't have been called a touchdown to end the game against the Seahawks. And there was like 3 months where I was like depressed about this game because that's just how emotional football is for me.
Once Pete Carroll went to the Seahawks, it ruined the Seahawks for me for life.
Yeah.
Kind of liked him before Pete Carroll got there. Now,
No. I mean, even though he's gone, I still
he's gone,
dislike
don't
them.
care.
Yeah, I just really dislike them.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I just now actually, unfortunately, that smell sort of reminds me of a really bad football game. Maybe that's something.
It's hard though when sports means that much to you.
It's a little bit dumb, but it's just I don't know how to tell myself not to care.
But that's how soccer fans feel. Like the World Cup really means so much.
I might go to war with somebody over football like they do in South America and Europe over their football. I might do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like growing up in Wisconsin, football was literally everything. And it was a great time. Like fall was like the best because you had like 60 degrees. It was sunny every day. The fall colors are changing. Yeah,
there's nothing better than that.
No, I'm sorry, but fall in New York's kind of. I mean, the weather's at least okay, but
it's beautiful. You go to Central Park, and I saw not too long ago an older lady feeding like 6 raccoons. So we have nature here.
How about rats? Do they feed those too?
Everyone feeds the rats,
But they
whether
only
they
come
want
out
to
at
or
night.
not. Yeah. So we lived in a building where next door to us, they weren't disposing of their trash properly, so rats were just going in and out of the trash can.
Does anyone dispose of their trash
Grossed
properly?
me out so badly, but I would still walk my dog over there because I had to see it. It's like why I can't watch horror movies, but for some reason, rats going into a trash can, like I hated seeing it, but I had to see it. Can you watch scary movies?
I can, but rats and cockroaches are like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't do rats or cockroaches. In fact, cockroaches, I saw one last night here, and
I wonder what that is.
Yeah.
Because I saw one fly on the table when I was in Italy. I'm like, oh, look at that. That's huge. But it didn't scare me
that
at
would
all.
have been, I would have been like, I want to flee. I need to flee.
I wonder what that is. I wonder, we were talking about evolutionary biology before we started. If it's something in you that makes you scared so you don't go near the cockroach.
A
because
cockroach hurt my ancestor at some
Maybe they're
point.
just covered in germs and we don't know about it.
I don't know. And they don't die.
Yeah.
And then you flush them down the toilet and they survive because they know how to get through the wall.
That's amazing.
They are kind of incredible, but they're disgusting.
See, that's what we need to figure out for surfing. Is like we need to really reverse engineer the cockroach sewer breathing. And like we need to make something like that for humans so we have a little thing so you don't have to be scared surfing big waves because you know you can breathe through it.
I'm trying to connect the dots there, and I think I'm connecting them.
Yeah.
Cockroaches, no. Rats, no. Scary movies I can do.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Probably. What's the one where Hannibal Lecter's eating people?
Silence of the Lambs?
Yeah, that one because it was the first one I ever watched.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's a perfect movie.
Yeah, and I'm really bad with movie names, but yeah, Silence of the Lambs because it's like so bad, but also
it's not bad at all. It's
no,
amazing.
bad
It's
as
a
in like
perfect movie.
gross.
Oh yes.
But
okay.
But also a lot of horror movies don't scare me because they're so unrealistic.
Yes.
And you're just like, okay, this is dumb. Like what was that every year it seemed like they were coming out with a new one. When I was like in high school.
Human Centipede?
No, it was like they were always made fun of in Scary Movie.
Scream?
No. I don't know.
The Wind in the Willows?
No.
Okay.
Okay, but anyways, it was just like, or like The Purge was kind of in that same, but it's so unrealistic in a way that you just like don't really want to pay attention. But Silence of the Lambs was like, wow, this could actually happen.
Yes,
which
it was
does
so realistic.
happen,
But I love Clarice Starling. I think she might be my favorite female character in all of film.
I will say that I don't know any actors or actresses by name.
No, that was her character.
Oh.
Jodie Foster played Clarice Starling.
See,
that was the name of the
I don't even know their characters.
FBI trainee who was put on the case. So, because her boss knew that Hannibal Lecter would respond to an attractive younger female. And he did, and she got Hannibal to help her crack the case.
Well, Ted Bundy in the same ilk went to my college, and
yes, he did.
He literally, like, I walked the streets that he did that all the time because it was in the sorority world. And
what were you doing at sororities, Benji?
I was
trying to get people to be conservationists.
Philanthropy, helping them out with their philanthropies. Yep. Just totally having fun with
philanthropies
for the kids.
34Bs.
For the kids.
That's right. Good for you, Benji.
Yeah, well, we shouldn't talk about that.
No, not anymore.
No, not on this
Friday.
The
statute of limitations has not yet expired.
I was over 18.
Is that what the restraining order says?
Oh, no.
Is that the only concern?
I actually did have a girlfriend who lived in the house
That's still there?
Yeah, it's all there. Everything is still there.
Like,
literally the alleyway is 100%.
I get the alleyway. You can't change the alleyway.
The homes are still there, yeah.
I would have mowed those down.
I mean, there's some, it's like one of those things where, like, bad energy gets left places.
Yeah.
Like, you can't really get rid of that energy.
Don't go anywhere. More Kennedy Saves the World right after this.
Yeah, my daughter supposedly goes to the most haunted college in America. They're famous
creepy.
for that, and because her school
Why?
is so old, and just weird things happen there. Yes, but if you go and you Google it and you read about it, I was like dropping her off. Like, is this a good idea?
Did she have any stories?
She had some things happen. She was in a very old dorm her freshman year, and things would rattle, and she'd hear a knock on the door.
That was just you.
Yeah. Hi, honey.
She's like, Mom, it's been like 2 hours.
Yeah, please leave me alone. Go away. I left home to go to college for a reason.
But you might have more college youthful energy than even she does. So, like, what's her problem?
Yeah,
like,
I would
let you in.
So. Come on.
Mom's cool.
Let's go streak in the quad.
Yeah. Typical mother-daughter bonding activity. That's what every child wants to do with their parent.
Oh, God bless America.
If I did that with my parents, I think I might just never forgive myself.
Are your parents conservationists?
My parents are vegan conservatives.
Oh, interesting.
In Wisconsin.
That's got to be lonely territory.
Yeah, there's not many people like them.
So when they go to potlucks, I mean, obviously,
right?
Everyone brings.
I was like, oh no, it's the Backers. They're bringing their vegan.
Yeah, like
stuff
my
again.
grandmother's church cookbook is one of my favorite possessions.
Right.
But literally everything in it, like even the salads, everything has
so much meat
or hamburger.
Right.
Like
and
hamburger,
a lot of cheese.
There's 4 recipes for hamburger pie in one cookbook, church cookbook.
And if it's not filled with meat, it's like the cheesiest thing you've ever eaten in your life, or the creamiest thing.
So people are like, we have a cucumber.
Yeah, my mom's
There's
so good at cooking vegan food that I think she actually turns people.
Interesting.
I eat meat, but
when you go home,
she actually cooks me something separate, and she's very good at that too.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes, I wasn't forced the lifestyle.
Yeah,
they actually don't like it from a taste perspective. It's not like from a human
moral
or animal rights perspective.
I won't eat anything with the face.
Right. It's more like, we don't really like this.
Yeah.
Which I don't know what your version is, but yeah. So I grew up with like vegan conservative parents who also were members of the Audubon Society and the Nature Conservancy and all that stuff. So it broke down all the political barriers.
But then you go to University of Washington.
Right.
And were there a lot? I mean, I know Seattle is very liberal. I lived in Seattle for 3 years. Everything outside of Seattle is normal.
Yep.
And there have to be students from all over the country and all over the world who are studying there.
There's actually more Asian students there than white students, and a lot of that it's international.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's the closest city. But yeah, I mean, it was a very liberal school. But when you told people that you were like a conservative who cared about the environment, they're like, oh, and they like didn't get upset. And it's like I don't know if that's. It's obviously harder to do on other issues like Palestine and Israel and stuff. And like college campuses are obviously a mess.
That's a fun one. Yeah, the college is really fun right now.
It's so fun. Yeah,
the Zionists.
Yeah, no, it's not great. But it's like when people who have a different opinion as you know that you have the same end goal, which like on Palestine and Israel, that's like a really hard thing to do. But if you're like, I care about the environment too, maybe just have a different way of getting there. People weren't like protesting and stuff. Like there was like no frustration. And I'm on a college campus tour right now, and nobody's like trying to protest.
What are you feeling when you go to those campuses in terms of dialogue and free speech?
Well, it's obvious that I'm like the token conservative that's getting invited to these campuses. And because I'm a safe token conservative, because I'm not really super controversial, they want to have somebody who liberal students will show up for and not be upset about. So that's great for me, but it's also a little bit frustrating because like I don't just want to be the only one. Like I feel like, they invite very controversial people on the left. I'm not controversial. I don't want to be controversial necessarily.
Yeah, you don't strike me as like Milo or Ann Coulter.
No. I actually was very involved with Charlie Kirk when he started Turning Point, like way back when I was a little, teenager. But even that, like, there's just so much more stoking of division, and you can agree with it or not. I wish that they'd be more open to those sorts of people, but I'm finding that people like free speech when, like, with what I'm saying because they know that we share the same end goal. But the problem with America right now is that when you don't think you have the same end goal, you're like, that person's evil.
Yes.
Without knowing that maybe there's a reason for that. And that's where I feel like college campuses, like, you can disagree with somebody on Israel-Palestine and that the fact that they're pro-Israel, but maybe they're not evil college students. Like, maybe there's a reason why they think that way.
Yes.
And maybe you should consider that viewpoint. And thankfully, I don't run into that problem.
No, you don't have that problem. And I talked to Bjorn Lom. This is like...
Oh, I just ran into him on the street.
Yeah.
We're having drinks tonight.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell him you had
another drink.
The luscious lumberjack.
I started my drinking with Kennedy earlier today.
No, Bjorn, we were talking about what there is to look forward to in terms of, climate awareness and environmentalism. And he comes at it from such a wonderfully optimistic place.
Right.
So is there optimism on college campuses, or is doom and gloom the only thing that sells?
It's the only thing that sells its scale. But like, I spoke at Johns Hopkins and Yale and Harvard last week, and the people who showed up were just so happy to hear a different perspective that was hopeful. But the thing is that doesn't like capture as much attention as if
I mean, that's what Bjorn was saying. The problem
really
is like all this good news doesn't get any press at all.
Right, and everyone says that they want it, but no one actually like they want it consciously, but most people are like subconsciously like, that's boring.
Yeah.
Good news, no. This alarming story though, that is what I want to pay attention to. Or alarming as in I hate that person so much I'm gonna watch that.
Yes.
And like we gotta change. I don't know how we're gonna do it, but we gotta change our psyches because like we're kind of manifesting this stuff. Like when we only pay attention to bad news, there's gonna be more bad news all the time. It's just like as a snowball, and it is hard because it's like pulling teeth to get people to show up for good news. But then once they're there, they like go home and they're like, wow, A, I learned a lot. B, I feel happy. C, like I feel like there's a purpose. D, I have like optimism for the future. But like getting people to sit down and hear it is a problem.
Yeah, but it's a force multiplier.
Yes.
And I think the thing about what you do is you give people digestible information that's also actionable, which is very rare because a lot of times, like this hysteria, it's not really actionable because you don't want anything to change.
No.
You need to have a grievance culture. You have to have something to always complain about.
It is a religion, and like that's where I feel like I have some compassion for these people because they don't have a religion, and so this is like their way of really caring about something that is bigger than themselves or they perceive as bigger than themselves, which is usually pretty selfish, but like they don't really know that. And they're trying to like have purpose and meaning. It's easier to have purpose and meaning when you're really worrying about something than to be like, oh, everything's okay. I have purpose and meaning. Like our brains are like, fight or flight, give it to me. Like I want fight or flight now.
I want dopamine and adrenaline and nothing else in my body.
I want to watch TikToks that make me feel sad. That's what I want. So yeah, I mean, people are definitely...
Or ASMR TikToks with French bulldogs farting.
Right, that's you. That's what you see. Yeah, I that's not what my algorithm gives me.
My algorithm gives me that and surfing, but a lot of farting French bulldogs.
See, mine's like nature pics and like Nat Geo type stuff, and some of the sickest, as in like mentally ill memes.
That's good. No, because that means you have a good sense of humor.
They balance each other out.
So what is, of the places you've visited, what is the most pristine? What is a place that we should be aspiring to live like?
I love Wyoming. I think Wyoming's my favorite state in the country.
Why don't you live there?
I'm working on it.
Yeah.
It would be great to be the governor of Wyoming someday. Like that would be like the dream because it's like the future of energy. They're doing like wind, they're doing natural gas, they're doing coal, they're doing nuclear, they're doing everything. and they're bringing business into the state. The biggest wind facility in the United States is there, started by a Republican, and they also do fossil fuels. It's like a great balance. They also have the most pristine mountains that have not been like overrun with tourists. And so if you're a tourist, don't overrun it, please. But like they have great skiing. It's rugged. It's natural. Like wildlife can succeed because it's not overpopulated. So please don't populate it. But it's like a great place for I think looking at how to take care of the land, because they also have a lot of ranchers and farmers and people who are living off the land. They're not like telling you not to be a part of it at all.
Yeah.
It's like what Colorado should be if
Yes.
Colorado wasn't moving so far to the left. But I think their governor there is like the best governor in the country too.
Who is their governor?
Mark Gordon.
Okay.
The reason why people don't know him is because he's actually doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And that doesn't get
Like
attention.
I know Jared Polis.
Right.
I like Jared.
He's fine.
He's
better
fine.
than most. He's
Yeah,
better
is.
than like Newsom.
Far better than most Democrat
Yeah.
governors because he's rich and he probably wants to stay rich.
It's kind of like when Hickenlooper.
Although libertarians hate him. I found that out the hard way, saying Jared Polis has a libertarian streak, and libertarians attacked
and they're like,
me
no
on
streak.
X forever. And they're like, watch this,
And they're
traitor
That's
to
what you
freedom.
are. Yeah, you're actually anti-libertarian now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I hope
Yeah,
that's
all because you thought Jared
statist.
Polis definitely has a libertarian streak compared to other Democrat
Yeah, of
governors. Like, it's
course.
not even close.
Like the insane Democrat governors are absolutely
yeah.
awful, and the mayors and the DAs. They're
And like Hickenlooper
horrible
is their senator in Colorado, and he like said, because I think he was running for president, right, at one point,
for a couple weeks.
about a second. I think what really doomed him was when he said he loved capitalism. I remember that like everyone's like, well, that's it for you. We're not good with that. And it's like, yeah, there's at least the Colorado delegation tends to be a little bit more pro-capitalism.
Yeah.
But like Wyoming really gets it right.
I mean, you can't be in Colorado and be like, yeah, capitalism sucks. Take that, Aspen.
Right, it's like-
give us all your tax money.
Yeah, it's like, well, these places are protected because you have so many recreational people coming and spending money
Yeah.
in your state. And I'm actually headed to Telluride and this weekend, and I'm really excited because I have never been there before, but it's those places have become so overrun with people,
Mhm.
and it's so expensive. It's like, and partially it is government. Like they're shutting, and energy is kind of expensive now too because they are shutting down fossil fuels too early in that
Yes.
state. But Wyoming's not doing that.
No. You have to, you really, when you talk about the all the above approach, you have to right now.
It is all.
Yeah.
Truly
and,
all.
But, and, you know, again, Bjorn and I were talking a little bit about nuclear.
Yep.
Because
I'm a
nuclear.
s- for nuclear.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I would do just about anything
Yeah.
for a nuclear plant.
It's like, pull my hair and tell me about
Yeah.
nuclear energy.
Please, yeah.
Because that
My love language is
truly
nuclear, yeah.
is the future.
It is.
And if environmentalists were serious about it,
They're
there
getting
would
on
be
board slowly.
so much more research. Yes.
But it
and
took
they have
way
to.
too long.
I
Like,
agree. So much time wasted
so much time wasted.
crying. And I love when people lecture Thomas Massey about the environment.
Mm.
And he's like, you realize that I live on a
Self-sustained.
self-sustaining farm and I actually grow my own things and trade them for other things.
That's the problem with the environment is like it used to be so interconnected with our lives, right? Like my grandma has Tupperware that she's had for decades because she like reused it and she thought that that was like a great way to reduce pollution in her local landfill. But like now it's like this like world global thing and it disconnects people from it. It's not to say like it's up to everyone to save the world on their own because it's not. Like you need companies.
Only I can save the world.
Right, that's your
Thank
slogan.
you.
Like
That's
it
my
literally says
domain.
it right
Mhm.
there.
Yep.
Like no one else can do it. Not the government, not anyone. Kennedy.
Thank you.
So yeah, you don't have to have that mindset that you alone are going to save the world, but like you as a good citizen and a good community member saving your local environment is going to add up at scale. And that's not all the responsibility on you, but people on the left have made it such a global issue that everyone's like, well, why would I even try if it's such a big problem and I'm like one human being?
Are we going to win?
On the right side of this issue,
Yes.
we are winning.
Good.
Because now finally, like with the increased demand for energy, people are realizing that you can't do it without nuclear. You can't do it without natural gas. And you're going to need geothermal, wind, solar, all that stuff. And the common sense approach is working. I was really fearful that it wouldn't, but I think that we've averted, like even like Newsom backing out of closing down the nuclear plant, like the writing was on the wall, but the thing is that he was forced to. There was no other option.
Mhm.
And New York made that foolish decision that we talked about years ago to close down the nuclear plant. They should reopen that thing.
I agree.
Like they just did with 3 Mile Island. Like, they should be reopening every closed nuclear plant. There's one in Alabama that
It should be like a home improvement show on Magnolia Network.
Oh my gosh. Shot in the dark. And reopening a nuclear plant.
We're going to be rich,
We
Benji.
are. We're going to start a TV show about reopening a nuclear plant.
Yes, and that truly will save the world.
This seems like, there's a lot of potential here, but it seems a little outdated, right, Kennedy?
Yeah. And we only have 6 weeks to do it, Benji. Let's start demoing ourselves.
And it seems like it might be about $5 billion. Where are we going to come up with that? Jeff Bezos? Do you need some data powered?
I love your future wife. She's so natural. We love nature. All right. Cheers to all of it, Benji Backer.
Cheers to nature. Cheers to winning the war.
Amen. And being on the right side of things.
And the right side. We've been saying this for years. But no one cared.
Next time, shot in the dark. This has been Kennedy Saves the World Happy Hour, along with Benji Backer. I'm Kennedy.
Listen ad-free with the Fox News Podcast Plus subscription on Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Prime members can listen to this show ad-free on the Amazon Music app. Oh, go ahead and leave me a review while you're there. I'd love to hear what you have to say. You've been listening to Kennedy Saves the World on the Fox News Podcast Network.